Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. I'm brought to you by Hope Through Navigation. This is our H.O.O.D recovery services. You can reach me at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. Today is July the 31st, and I'm going to do your spiritual principle a day in a meditation for the same day. Let's go ahead. I hope you're having a good day, a good morning. Let's go ahead and get into that reading. Okay. Simplicity is key. Page 220. Clarity and simplicity are keys to our message, Narcotics Anonymous. All by itself is enough. We promise freedom from active addiction. Guiding Principles, Tradition 10, opening essay. Tradition 10 is pretty simple. Addicts have opinions, but NA does not. Topics like politics and religion create unnecessary controversy and conflict. While civic involvement and participation in our faith communities may certainly help us as individuals to get and stay clean, NA is mute on these topics. To maintain an atmosphere of recovery for everyone, we do our best to leave potential distractions at the door. Relatedly, here's a good one that we've heard before, heard often. Narcotics Anonymous is a simple program for complicated people. And then there's this gem. Opinions are like belly buttons. Everyone's got one. But that doesn't mean they're useful. While that statement may ring true, it's not an NA opinion. So let's move straight away to the NA message. Our NA message is clear and simple. Any of us can stop using and stay stopped. Our obsession to use will dissipate, and we will find a new way to live our lives. Freedom from active addiction is our only promise. The program of NA has enough to keep us busy. No need to overcomplicate it. We have steps, traditions, and concepts, 12 of each. We have spiritual principles. We have service, literature, and our higher power. We have a vision of making NA accessible to addicts around the world. And we have each other. We need each other to stay clean and to find freedom from active addiction and the complicated mess that goes along with it. Keep it simple. One disease, one program, one promise. NA is enough to keep me clean and free. I'm grateful for all my human complexities, for the outside support I may have, and for the activities and worlds I engage with. But I need to keep my recovery simple. I can commit to that for my own healing, as far as for everyone else who's seeking freedom in the room with me today, as well as for everyone else who's seeking freedom in the room with me today. Isn't that powerful? So I am committing to keeping it simple and seeking healing. And I am also committing to making sure that the atmosphere of recovery is available for anyone that walks through the doors. How do I do that? I do it by keeping it simple. I do it by sticking to the message of Narcotics Anonymous. We have one disease, one program, one promise that any addict can stop using, find a better way to live, right? Lose a desire to use and find a better way to live. Yeah, think about it. Repeat that to yourself. What does that mean when people say that? Our message is clear that any addict can stop using, lose the desire to use, and find a new way of life. That is our message. Is my behavior in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous about that message? Because if I'm not bringing that message, 9 times out of 10, I'm bringing my mess. And if I'm bringing my mess, is it a wonder that people come in here and say they don't seem like they got recovery to me? they cross talking, they arguing, people rolling their eyes, their facial expressions are tripping when other people are sharing about what's going on with them and how they're seeking recovery in their life based on that circumstances. If I'm gonna share the problem, for goodness sake, share the solution. And if I'm in a position where I'm not able to share the solution, then for goodness sake, let that be known in my share. Look, I'm going through something right now. Now, this is not my story, but for instance, I'm in an abusive relationship. My husband put his hands on me at least once a week, or my man beats me down at least every other month. If that's, and I don't have the solution, because they told me if it's not practical, it's not spiritual. It is not practical to have somebody that's busting you in your face and they claiming to love you at the same time. They have an anger management issue, and they're not going to manage their anger on me. Now, where can conflict come with a share like that? If you don't know that there's services that can help you, if you don't know that you're worth more than that, or you just feel stuck because you're not able to take care of your financial situations on your own and you're worried about starting over, you might not have the solution. But for goodness sakes, make that known when you're sharing. I don't have the answer, but this is messing with my recovery, and this is what it is. Also, if anyone has some suggestions for me, pull me aside after the meeting. I'll be very open to talking to you privately if you have a suggestion for me. Because unless you make that known, people automatically want to help you, and they will start cross-sharing, sharing to your situation, piggybacking off of your share, and taking the focus off of them and their recovery and focusing on you. And you are not the only person in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. Right? We have to. People are falling left and right. People are dying left and right. People are encountering the disease of addiction on new levels. New levels. Fentanyl is not a joke. It's being placed in stuff that people are least suspecting. Intentionally, the people that are selling drugs to people, and these people are overdosing, dying because it is loaded with fentanyl, unbeknownst to them. Now, if they had actively pursued recovery, they wouldn't have picked up to begin with. So let's be clear that they're actively using is really the reason why they overdosed. If they hadn't picked up the first one, they wouldn't have had to worry about the last one. Unfortunately for them, a lot of times that last one is the last hit that they took. Okay? I'm clear about that. But let's also be clear. The dope dealer is responsible just as well. You know, I think it's hard sometimes in the rooms of recovery when the dope dealer comes into the rooms and decides to find a new way to live, because our minds say they on something shady, but that's not your business. What should be your business, unless you have proof that this person is subverting the atmosphere of recovery and making drug deals in the rooms, unless you have proof, all you need to worry about is avoiding them for yourself. Can they be a trigger? Absolutely. Would I allow their presence to run me out of room? No, I would not. But believe me, there are plenty of times I left my home group because there were triggers in the meeting for me. Did I go about sharing about that and bringing it down, bringing the meeting down and making everyone else look at a certain person sideways? Absolutely not. And you'd be hard pressed to get me to even tell you the stories. But if I'm that disturbed and I'm seeking my recovery, I'm going to go somewhere else if I have to. And you have the right to do the same. There's too many meetings. There's way too many meetings to be triggered by anyone in a meeting. I wish I would. Now that I understand that Zoom is available, there's no way in the world. That platform has changed the life of many people, and mine is one of them. I have so many friends now that got clean in the pandemic on a Zoom platform. There's no way in the world I would be stranded There's no way. I make a meeting every day and sometimes 2 or 3 meetings every day. And I am responsible for an in-person meeting on Mondays. And it's hybrid. So it also meets on Zoom. I am so involved in my recovery, and I'm thinking about getting back involved on the area level. One of my podcasts that I talked about last week, I think, talked a little bit about that. And I started sharing openly about my reservations, the issues I have with area level service work. And I started to get some solutions because I started speaking to the problems that are there. And it, you know, I probably never even would have thought about it had I not been doing this podcast. But it's hard to look at something, to read a message, to read a meditation, and not internalize it. That's not who I am. I internalize it for myself as well. So I am thinking about doing some things different here in this next year. And I hope that you are too. Simplicity is the key. And you need to figure out how you are adding to the simplistic message. Is your behavior, the way that you share, the way you interact with other covering individuals, proof that you have internalized this? Or are you are you part of the problem? And if you are, just change it. You know, there had no need to have a long, lengthy talk about changing our behavior. It is often an ongoing process, and I hope it is one of yours. The spiritual principle today runs right along with the just for today, right? For this day. Right? And I want to make sure that you understand who you are and how wealthy you are being free from active addiction. You are in a position where you can make different choices. But not only that, when you carry the message, you can carry a clear NA message, not one that's confused, right? I want that for you today. My name is Mighty Stream, and I will be talking to you tomorrow.